let me, can you see that?
Yeah, it's popping up.
So yeah, this is like my last step is just create a username and a password, but everything I try doesn't work.
Matching regular expression configured. Maybe, what? It's always something new. Okay. No capital letters, no numbers.
Okay.
Cool.
Is it the same thing for passwords?
No, I think passwords are fair game for whatever you want.
Okay. Is it not going to show me the password?
Yeah, as you type, it won't show it.
Okay.
So you have to like type carefully. Looks like it didn't match, so go ahead and try.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So is this what I have to use now in class?
Yeah, I think that's going to be for the best. Now, I believe it's going to require you to restart your computer before it'll work.
Okay. Do I have to do what it's telling me to do right now? This man sudo root thing?
No, that's for the manual, just to bring it up.
Okay, so I just need to restart and then reopen this application?
Yeah, I think you should be good at that point.
Okay, thank you. I will be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. We'll see you shortly. So it looks like that's going to work out, hopefully, for folks. I don't want to cover any material while they're rebooting, so I'll take your questions for a few minutes. Assuming everyone else was able to get stuff installed. The SeekTK program. Did I freeze up?
No.
Oh, okay. Looks like Noah's frozen. Anyway. Okay, so today what I hope we're going to accomplish is to learn how to add things to the path variable. Then we're going to work through the Chapter 3 practice problems, because those get a bit tricky. And in there, we're going to encounter a few things that you need to know about, like special characters and command substitution. And so that's kind of the direction we're headed today. As soon as folks get back, I'll show you exactly how to add things to your path, but I'll give you a sneak preview right now. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you know we can see the value of path by doing echo $path. And so these are where my computer knows to look for any programs. But where this variable path actually lives is in our old friend .bashrc or bash underscore profile. I'm going to look because I'm not sure where mine are. I'm going to look down here for path. Aliases. There we go. Okay, so in my .bashrc file, I've got this little line here, and I'll copy and paste it for you just as an example. Oops. Right. So that little code snippet I put in our chat is essentially every time you start up your bash, it's going to run this .bash profile and .bashrc. It's like a little script. Okay, and so it adds a bunch of things to your environment. And so in this case, we're saying, hey, here's my aliases, and I also want to add to my path variable. And so in quotes, I just say export path equals, so I'm setting the value of path, and then I'm adding whatever directory I want, so wherever I put the program, then a colon, and then $path. And so what that actually does is it takes my path variable and it adds on this to it, and then the current value of path. So every time I start bash, it's basically telling my computer, oh, here's this additional path that I want. Okay. So you're not going to have this particular directory, right? That's where I'm storing my BioPython libraries. But you'll have your own, and it's going to be wherever you want to start putting programs. Okay, so this can be in your home directory. You could just have a new folder there called Bioinformatics Programs. And you could start, when you download stuff, you can put them in there. And so then you're just telling your computer right here, I want to add this particular directory to my path. Now, if you're on Linux and you installed this using sudo apt-get install seektk, it's going to put it in your path automatically. But if you're not, you're going to have to do something like this. All right, let me know if that is or is not working for you, or if you are having trouble finding .bashrc or any of that. Let's see, where was I here? So I'm gonna bash profile. No, I don't have anything in there. All right, so how's that going?
With my new Linux thing, I can't figure out where I am. It won't let me get to desktop.
Hey, will you share your screen? Let's just take a look and.
Yeah, I was about to have the same issue.
All right, give me a PWD. All right, now an LS. There's nothing there, huh? All right, what I think's happening is that this Windows subsystem for Linux that you're now running is essentially a virtual machine machine, and it's probably just empty at this point. Because it's basically like a computer within your computer. Now it's integrated with Windows, so you don't have to like have a dual boot setup or any of that, but it's basically a blank slate. You've got a fresh computer. And so you're going to need to, if you're using this, I'm sorry, this is going to be annoying, but you're going to have to reclone your repository from GitHub, and it should work just fine in that case.
So how do I do that?
So that is the git clone, and then the address to your repository. Wait, have we done that in this class yet? I'm confusing this with the R class, maybe.
No, we have not.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was like,
Wrong class. All right, so what you can do is just move your folder, the like bioinformatic assignments. You can just move that right in here, or just start fresh with mkdir and create a bioinformatics folder and do your work in there.
okay. And just start creating everything from this?
Yeah, so now you can cd into BINF, and you can make your, assignment 3 directory, assignment 4 directory, all that stuff. And so it's kind of like you've got a separate tiny computer, no spaces. Oh no. So now do an ls and see what happened. You got 2 directories, one called assignment and one called 4.
Oh. How do I undo that?
You can rm-r and then 4 and assignment. There you go. Don't forget, you're now part of the cult of no spaces. All right, so I think what it's going to be for you guys now using the Windows subsystem, is that you've got basically a separate little Linux computer living on your computer, and so that can just be for this class, and it'll be a nice clean directory, so that's kind of a benefit. Windows won't be trying to put any of your stuff on the cloud or any of that, so this might be for the best. Now, the real test here to see if this is actually working is if you can get seektk downloaded and run that make on it. So you're going to want, put this in the chat for your convenience. You're going to want to run these commands. And I wouldn't do that from within your assignment 4 directory or whatever. I would do it somewhere where you want to start storing programs. So I'm here, I'm in like my BINF. I might want to make a directory back in home Sabrina Saley, for example. So that's just back 1 in this case, and then BINF programs, and then I would want to add that to my path. So in other words, you're going to have a couple folders in your home directory, one that's for all your assignments and things that you write, another one that's for all the programs that we're going to be downloading and playing with. And that programs directory, you want to add it to path. Like so, export path equals, and then give it home Sabrina Saley BINF programs, colon, and then at the end have path.
So I'm still getting command not found for make.
Same for you, Sabrina? See.
Mine says the program make can be found in the following packages: make and then make guile.
Okay, share your screen with me. We should be able to get through this since you technically have Linux now, sort of, on your machine. Okay, so you're going to want to type in sudo for super user do, apt install, just like it says up there, and then space make. And then it's going to ask for your new password. It won't show up on the screen when you type it. Cool. Okay, give me an ls. I want to see what you've got there. All right, so you've got your make file. So now just try typing in make. Target failed. All right, we're going to fix this. Is this where you're going to be doing all your assignments in BINF?
Yes.
All right, I would go back a couple. So cd ... Okay. Now look around. You should just see BINF in there. All right, so make a new directory that's like BINF programs or just programs or something like that.
I did already.
Oh, I don't see it there.
Okay.
I think you made it somewhere different. All right, so now go into that. And we're going to try this sudo apt-get install thing again. I'll put it in the chat. So just try copying and pasting that line in. Unable to load the package. Apparently, Windows Linux isn't quite Linux enough. So you are going to have to do the make, and it's not working. GCC. Ooh. right, try this one.
Click yes.
Yeah. It's working so far. All right, well, this may take a couple minutes. Who else was having trouble with this? Is this downloading for you?
Yeah, mine's working the same as hers.
Okay. This may take a couple minutes because you're kind of setting up your Linux system for the first time, and so it's downloading a bunch of libraries and stuff to run all these make programs and compile C++ code and all that kind of junk. It's a lot of text on there that you don't need to worry about. No matter how deep you get into the bullshittery of command line, this stuff is going to be kind of beyond where we ever need to go. The recipe, though, this sudo apt install, is going to be pretty common for you and for Linux folks. Right? Unable to fetch some archives. Okay, so it gives you this, like, maybe run apt-get update. What it really means is sudo, so super user apt-get update.
Like that?
Yep. And then once this finishes, you're going to have to run that previous command again, so you can just hit the up arrow a couple times and it'll bring it back up for you. The install build essential. All right, so for you Mac people, a lot of the stuff that we download, you're going to be able to use brew install using that homebrew program. Windows folks, now that you're kind of using Linux, this sudo apt-get install and then the name of the package is kind of the way to do it. The benefit of this is that it puts it automatically in your path if you use either one of those approaches.
So mine just finished. Now I need to rerun the
Rerun the sudo apt install build essential. Yeah. Groovy. All right, Heath, did I get your question about the path cleared up?
Well, I was able to add a file folder to my path file, but I thought that meant that then I could be anywhere and execute an seq tk command.
Yeah.
And it should work, but it doesn't. It tells me like if I try to do, even one of those commands that come in the assignment or on their website, kind of like, then it gives me a command not found.
Program not found, yeah, okay. You have to restart your terminal.
Okay.
So you added the path to that line in your .bashrc file, but it hasn't actually run that script yet because it only runs it upon startup. And so you can close out and restart, or you can type in exec bash, stuck that in the chat, and that's just like a quick restart for your terminal. It runs all the .bash profile stuff for you again. And then it should work.
So am I good to go now? Is this working?
Okay, so you need to run the git clone cd seek tk make that series again from right where you are, and then we will see if this actually worked.
Sorry, I'm trying to copy it real quick.
No problem. Okay. Oh, you need zlib. How did we install that last time? Remember it? Oh yeah, it's called zlib1g. So it's basically saying like, hey, you don't have this library, zlib, and so I just Googled it. I typed in zlib.h no file or directory, and I found that the package is actually called zlib1g. And so if we want that, we type in sudo apt-get install zlib1g. Oh, misspelled install.
Oh, sorry, I just copied in.
Oh, I misspelled install. Okay. Oh, you need the developer's version. So try that code. Okay, now try your make.
This one?
Yeah. Worked.
Am I good to stop sharing my screen?
Yep. All this pain and suffering, and when it finally works, man, that's just a great feeling. A day in the life of bioinformatics right there. 2 hours spent trying to install the program and get it working. Then you feel real happy. All right, Noah, did that work for you?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
That is awesome. It only took us like an hour longer than I thought. That's not bad. I see a hand. Mason.
Okay, quick question so we can move on. Okay.
No worries.
So when I did the git clone to get sectk, I did it my home directory, so it created the directory sectk with all of the crap in it, right? The cache license make file, and it created. So I did the make, and it made the program sectk, and then working, I sudo copied the program and stuck it in my like user local bin, and it works. So for my path now, do I want to create the new directory on my home that's been
No,
programmed?
you don't have to. Since you sudo copied it, you copied it into the user local bin,
Huh?
you should be good to go.
Okay.
Now to check to see if something's in your path. Oh, let me share my screen.
Which sectk?
Which sectk?
Yeah.
And so does that show up somewhere?
Yeah, it pops up as user local bin sectk.
Perfect.
So do
Then
I need
you are good to
anything
go.
with my path in bash rc or?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Since you moved it into your path, you're good to go.
So when I download new programs, then am I going to have to do something similar to that?
Usually, yes.
Okay.
Wait, you're on Windows or Mac?
Mac.
Okay, so not as often.
Uh-huh.
If you do the brew install,
Yeah.
some programs will come with that option.
Okay.
Then that puts it in your path automatically, so you're good to go.
Okay, sweet.
A lot of programs, though, are written by, scientists, not software engineers, and
Right.
so they don't necessarily come with a brew install feature.
Uh-huh.
And so it's good to know that when you do download something like that and you compile it with make, you need to just stick it in your path.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame. Some of the best bioinformatics software out there assumes you already know what you're doing with computers. I think the reason for that is, they're not trying to be mean to us. They are just, busy scientists. They wrote this to solve a problem. It's kind of them to share it, but they're not going to spend an extra 2 weeks, writing a brew install and trying to get that approved through Homebrew and Mac and all that kind of stuff. So they just kind of put it out there for you to use. All right. Well, this has been a real pleasure. I loved this experience. We learned something, and I'm thinking this subsystem is going to work out for you Windows folks. So that's good to know, and I'm going to basically make everyone do that from now on. All right. Let's take a look at the practice tasks for assignment 3, or for week 3 here. Because we've spent a bit of time bashing around installing stuff. We'll use it in just a bit, but I want to make sure that some of these fundamentals of how to take little programs and paste them together to get random output, how that's kind of sticking. All right, so practice 3, the first thing is you can get a zipped directory. I'm going to copy link location. I'm going to make a new directory for practice stuff. I'm going to go into it. All right, so I'm in my bioinformatics folder. I made a practice directory separate from all my assignments. And now I'm in week 3. And here's another test for you Windows subsystem. The wget, you may have to install it. That would just be sudo apt/get install wget if it says command not found. All right, so I got this file. So here's my practice files. It's a zip file. Are you familiar with those? It's compressed and bundled. Now there's a neat thing we can do in the command line. We can say less to any zip file on our computer, and it shows us what's in there. And it shows us the size and the compression rate and basically all the names of these things. All right, so that's pretty handy. We can see what's in there. We've got 4 files, and they all rest within this Chapter 3 practice files directory. I hit Q to get out of this less viewer. How do you think I'm going to unzip this? Because we got to get our files out of there.
Gunzip.
Not gunzip.
Ah, okay.
Gunzip is for the .gz.
Okay.
For .zip stuff, we just say unzip. Done. So unzip, and then the name of the zip file. That gave me a new folder, so I'm going to go in there, look around. We've got a.text, b.text, story, and words. So let's take a look. Cat A, that's the numbers 1 through 10. Pretty exciting. Cat B, that's A through J, capital letters. Cat words, we've got some words there. And cat story, it's a bit of story from the BFG by Roald Dahl. All right. So our first task, combine the contents of a.txt and b.txt into a new tab-separated file called c.txt. I want it to look like that. All right, who knows how to do that? It's in the resources. Paste. By default, paste sticks things together as if they were columns, and it separates them with tabs. So paste A, B, nice and simple. So we can take files and combine them in a tabular format. All right, so what do I need to complete these directions here?
A redirect with the new file name.
So I'm just going to hit the up key. I like the way that looks, and I'm going to say that's c.txt. Look around, there's C, cat, c.txt. Presto. Okay. Practice problem 2. Combine the words that begin with either B or E, case insensitive, from words.txt with the first 6 lines of the new c.txt. So we want these 6 lines and then a new column that's the words that begin with E or B, regardless of capitalization. Let's talk this through in plain English. What's our approach going to be?
Let's see. I think I'd select the first 6 lines of the new file first.
Okay.
And then let's see. You'd want to grep that Word file for that for B's and E's. Non-case sensitive. If you paste those in, would it automatically cut it off at like 6 lines if you are adding it to a file with 6 lines?
No, it wouldn't. But I happen to know
Oh,
that there's only 6.
okay. Let's see.
So
I'm a little
let's
bit
take a
lost
look
in
at
combining the two
this.
sides.
Yeah, so the first part had 6 of c.txt. All right, so that's looking good. That's our first 2 columns that we're wanting. So we know that's going to be part of what our solution is. And then there's the grep, starts with, how do I do B or E?
Do you use a, let's see, isn't it kind of like a pipe? Like you would use a,
Can you do brace expansion?
I can do brace expansion. That didn't quite work.
Now you pipe it.
To what? Well, it didn't give me what I wanted. Let's try this. Starts with capital B. Words.text. Yeah, okay, so that's working. We can get the one that starts with capital B below. If we do capital E, that gives us eat, earth, and eggplant. Okay. Whoa.
Wait, so why didn't the brace expansion work?
I'm not sure. I would have thought it was going to work.
Okay.
Grep's picky. So let's look at this command. We know that the up caret means starts with. And in bash speak, the pipe means a pipe, but if it's inside of this regular expression, it means or. All right, so we're saying here is we're looking for a regular expression pattern that starts with E or B. And that didn't work.
grep-I.
Grep I E or B. Nope. Now look at what I'm doing here. I'm going to put this little backslash. We're getting ever closer to the real answer. What's the -I do?
Ignores case.
Yeah, so case insensitive. So that ignores case. It's giving us anything that starts with E or has a B in it, regardless of case. So how would I change this to make it just starts with B rather than has a B, like zebra?
Just add another caret.
Yeah, let's do that. So it starts with E or it starts with B. All right, there's still something we need to look at. What's that backslash doing?
It removes the following character, like it tells it it's not a regular expression.
Yeah. So the backslash, we can use that. It's called an escape character. And we use it to say, interpret the following thing literally, not as its special case. All right, I just did touch file with spaces in quotes. And so I got my file with spaces, which we never want. But, you know, you're going to encounter files with spaces in them. It's just a fact of life. And if I say cat file with spaces and hit tab, look what it did. It did a little backslash before the space. And that's saying interpret that space literally. We're still on the same line, right? If I say cat file with spaces, it's going to say, nope, there's nothing called file, there's nothing called with, and there's nothing called spaces. So cat file backslash space with backslash space spaces. It catted the contents, which were empty. All right, so how's that working here? That's saying I want you to take this pipe and treat it literally for this regular expression, which means it's an or. It's kind of tricky. It's a lot to remember. You're dealing with two languages right now. You're dealing with Bash and with regular expressions, which are their own language and come in several flavors.
So I guess I'm a little confused about the word literally, because to me, everything is interpreted literally.
No, there are special characters. So space means something. It's a special character and it means new item. So that's why here when I said cat file with spaces.
Are you talking about in Bash, these are special characters?
Yeah, and there's special characters in regular expressions as well, which of course are different because we live in a fallen universe and nothing can be easy.
So it's interpreting it literally as a Unix?
Yeah, it's interpreting it as or. It's interpreting it as a regular expression or.
Okay.
It's kind of weird. We've got other special characters like \n, that's new line. All right, let's see if I can find an easy list. Yeah, so we've got the $, we've got quotes for white space, the escape character, comments, assignments, tests, negating. So there's all these different special characters. A lot to learn, but the main ones you're going to be dealing with are new line or space. That's
so
that's
if I type in one of these characters, will it always be interpreted as a special character unless I do a backslash?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for instance, I can say echo $123. What did it do? It said 2, 3. Why?
Because the $, I don't know how to explain this, but it like assigns it a variable or something like that.
$signs means the value of that variable. And so it looked at this and said the value of a variable called 1, which was nothing, and then 2 and 3. But if I echo backslash $123, I get the literal interpretation of that.
Okay, so just to bring it home, the literal interpretation is in Linux.
Yes. The literal interpretation is the ASCII character you're actually looking at. like the $sign. The special interpretation of it is the $sign means the item after it is a variable, and we're trying to get the value of it.
And is that a bash thing?
That's an all Unix thing, and it's regular expressions, and you're going to be encountering it always, like on a daily, hourly basis.
Okay.
The most common time you have to deal with this is people put spaces in their file names. And so unless you want to go renaming every file, which isn't a terrible idea, you have to write them like this. So it's saying, interpret this white space literally as an ASCII character white space rather than a special character of white space, which means new item. So this little backslash, it comes in handy. It's called an escape character, and it lets us use the special characters as if they were normal text, basically. And so if I say echo backslash, it's waiting. It won't do that. It's like echo what backslash? And okay. Echo backslash backslash. What do you think that's going to give me? This one's, once you see it, it'll make sense. Maybe. It just gave me one backslash. How come?
Because the first backslash is telling the second backslash, don't do your normal operation. Just show me what you look like, basically.
Yep. Because backslash is a special character. It means escape. It means treat the next character as literal. And so here I'm saying, okay, treat the next character as literal. And so there you have it. And so you'll be using this a lot too, because if you're trying to search like NCBI for genes of interest or something, their search strings actually contain backslashes, which is super awesome, which means that every time you want to use some search string like length between 300 and 600 base pairs, that's actually written with backslashes, and so you have to write 2 backslashes to get it to interpret that correctly. We'll see more of this as we go along. Now, with that in mind, let's come back to this. So we know we want head of c.txt. Whoops. Head 6. Okay, so that gives us part of our answer. And then we know that we can grep with case insensitive things that start with E or things that start with B for words.txt. And there's our 6 lines that we want.
Okay, so I have another question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
So if you are escaping before the pipe, based on the example that you just showed us, it should be looking for that symbol, that like it will be looking for a pipe. So how come it's still interpreting it as or?
Because grep uses another language called regular expressions. And that means or as a regular expression.
And when you're not escaping it, what does it mean?
It's looking for an actual pipe.
Okay, so it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't this fun?
Yeah.
It's something that you just start getting a feel for.